her relatives are visiting. This is Geraint's mother and father, who are Celia and Horace, and Geraint, of course. So it's her first meeting with her cousin Geraint. The boy Geraint is much taller than I expected, and his hair is shiny black and stuck to his head like a helmet from the olden days. And when he's not banging his knees together like he's wafting a secret fart, he's pretending not to pick his nose. If his finger goes anywhere near that cushion, he'll get a slap from her mother. My dad says to Geraint, "How's school?" And Geraint goes, "It's fine, thank you, sir." Then my dad says, "Are you in the rugby team?" And Uncle Horace says, "He's more of a cricket man. He nearly made the Blundell's first 11, didn't you, Jerry?" And then Geraint makes a little speech like this. "I prefer fives, actually, sir. I competed in the under-16 national fives, and next term I shall compete in the Winchester Fives doubles tournament with Sam Katie." None of it makes any sense to me, partly because his voice is going up and down, and also because while he's saying it, his eyes keep flitting over at my Doctor Who annual. In the end, even my mother notices, and she says, "Have a little look at that, Geraint, if you want." Then she sees my face and she says, very rushed, "Now, Enid, darling, why don't you go and show Auntie Celia the garden?" After I show her the garden, here are some flowers. This is where the vegetables can be. We both sit on next door's wall in the shade a bit. "It's very warm, isn't it, Enid?" she says, and she unwraps the scarf from round her neck. It's pink with silvery flowers on it. "That's better," she goes. She pats down the collar on her blouse, and it's then I see she's got a hole in her neck right in the middle. Even though I know it's rude to stare, I can't help it. It's like an ant hole, and then I'm thinking about the ants getting in, and maybe we shouldn't stay in the garden too long, because ants can move very quickly when they've set their minds on going somewhere. "What's that?" I say, even before I think about not saying it. "It's a scar. I had to have an operation to help me breathe." "Can you breathe now?" I ask. And she smiles again, all sunny like before, and she says, "Yes, thank you, I'm much better. But what have you done to your leg?" I lift both my legs out in front of me and look at them. My poorly toe has made the corner of my sock all black and red. "Nothing." "What's happened here?" she goes, leaning over. And when I try to hide it, she crouches down in front of me so that the hole in her neck is really near to my eyes. It's not a hole close up, it's a black scab with pink all round it. She's trying to take my sock off, but then she stops and says, "It's stuck. Will it hurt if I pull it?" But too late, because now I've seen what she's up to, I yank my foot away and the stock stays in her hand and the toe starts bleeding again. "Has your mammy seen that?" she says in the voice adults use when they're trying to stay calm. I don't know whether to say, "Yes, of course," or "No, she hasn't," because both of them sound like my mother doesn't care that my toe is falling off. So I don't say anything. Auntie Celia goes quick inside, and when she comes out again, she's got a cloth in her hand and my mother right behind her. My mother's carrying her Tupperware bowl and the bottle of danger, and her face is horrible, all screwed up but with her eyes really staring. "My Enid, what have you done?" she says, and kneels on the ground in front of me. They both look at my toe for a minute, and then my mother puts her finger underneath it and pulls it away from the other ones and looks at it a bit more. There's a wasp also very interested. It keeps whizzing between me and Auntie Celia, and she wafts it with the cloth. "Kids, eh?" says Auntie Celia. "Never a dull moment." "Not with this little lady," goes my mother. "It's a non-stop carnival. This is going to sting, Enid." I can bear it for a second because I don't feel it stinging at all, just cool. But then it starts to burn, and it keeps burning and burning, like it's burning a hole in my skin, like Auntie Celia's hole in her neck. And it's like she's reading my thoughts because she puts her hand on my head and she says, "Count to 10, sweetheart, and it'll be better." They both look at it again now it's been washed, but I'm not looking, no way. I think the lid must be right off it, because the feeling is like fresh air getting in where it doesn't belong, like right inside you, and the skin on my arms has gone all bumpy, like when you touch crimpling. "You'll need a bandage on that," says Auntie Celia. "Where do you keep your first aid box, Maria?" My mother looks up at her and squints and says, "First aid box? First aid box?" I know when she asks a question twice like that, it means she's going to start, but she doesn't start. She just says, "Are you allowed alcohol with your tablets, Celia? I don't know about you, but I could murder